It won't it's on the it's expired or not. Oh yeah, it's expired. So in this current application, I'll go back to the data model and I will show you things. Tell me on which object you want me to create the workflow rule. Okay, let's go in that way. I'm going to schema builder to check the relationships on which object is important to us, on which object. So here we are the customer and we are the developer. Okay, so consultant. So I already built a workflow rule automation on consultant. Whenever it's a consultant record is created, I'm going to send out an email. That type of workflow rule I have already built. That's the reason the people who are getting emails when they are registered automatically, so it's completely done by a workflow rule which I have built. Now today what I'm doing is I'm trying to create, instead of consultant creation, I want to create workflow rule on training enrollment. So remember we have created email templates for the same object yesterday also, right? So I want to use that now. I'm going to workflow rules. First of all, so let's go to workflow rules. So the workflow rules, the navigations for that is click on setup, you will be in this page and go to create, expand it and click on workflows and approval process. Okay, and again you click on workflow rules, the first thing. Okay, so yeah, I'm currently having two workflow rules currently active on training services email to the contact object, on the contact object, and consultant training enrollment again on the consultant object. There are two workflow rules. Now I'm going to create a new rule. So I'm creating on training enrollment. Okay, I'm clicking on next. So I'm using the rule name as training enrollment. Workflow. Okay. So all the actions which I want to do on training enrollment, I can do on this. And I need some criteria to execute this rule. So before starting with workflow rules, I will discuss about this. So this is the rule name, and this is the criteria, evolution criteria. When you should trigger this workflow means, so when this workflow should be executed, should be triggered. I'm going to give the evolution criteria as evaluate this rule when a record is created on training or training enrollment object, or second is created or every time it's edited. Okay. And third thing is created or and every time it's edited to meet subsequent criteria. So this rule will be generally executed when the training enrollment is created. That's one thing. And if you want to send out an email every time it's created and every time it's edited also. So if there is any changes happened on training enrollment object, again you have to send out another mail saying, same email saying the new details are this. Okay, that's the requirement. So in this case, you cannot add time dependent workflow actions. I will talk about this later. So last option is created and every time it's edited to meet subsequent criteria. So you're going to give some criteria here. So if the criteria is met, so then only it will be executed. Otherwise, it's not. Okay. Whenever it's created, it will be executed, and again, and anytime after modifying also, if the criteria is meeting, it's going to be executed. Okay. The last option is that. So if you want some help on this, how do I choose? You click on that, it shows some examples. It's a help page of workflow rules. So now I want to go with created, or I can even go with this also, not a problem. So run this rule if the following criteria is met. Okay, I can even use formula fields also, but I can say this is not like comfortable when compared to this. If you want to write advanced formula field, yes, you can write it the same way what you did for validation rules. In this case, if the formula field what you're writing is saying true, then only the rule will be fired. Okay, I'm going with the criteria is met. This is the simpler option than that. So I can simply, for suppose if I want to say when the training, see, it generally shows all the related fields also for the training enrollment object. For the training enrollment, it's already showing all the related fields. Training enrollment object, these are the training enrollment object fields. It's showing training object fields. It's showing consultant object fields. Okay, and current user object fields also. I can put filter on any of this. So I want to say consultant email. So not equals to blank, because if consultant email equal to blank, then only, oh sorry. So consultant email not equal to blank means if you are providing some email address in the consultant email, the rule will be fired, because one thing I need is I need the email address, right? And again, yeah, that's it. I can even put one more filter, training is active or not, because this training enrollment is the junction object for consultant and training. That's the reason I'm using both these things. You can use one filter also, I can use two filter. I can use simply select active button, true. Now if you want to, I'm using and loop, one and loop. If both the things are true only, this rule will be executed, right? So the same thing I can even go with the formula field also, but I have to use the and or log, all this stuff. This is better, right? Okay, at least you should give one criteria, rule entry criteria. Okay, and I'm clicking on save and next. So now the workflow rule is created on training enrollment object. Now here you can create actions now. So workflow rule is generally have a rule. So workflow actions is the things you want to do. There are 4 types of actions. That's what I'm discussing. One is sending out. Sorry. First of all, the first thing is assigning a task automatically. First of all, I can create a task to some user saying, "Hey, please work on this case." Okay. So he needs some help. You have an ATM like this. I can create some tasks. The other thing is I can send emails. Third thing is you can do field updates. That's what I am explaining about the case scenario. Fourth thing is outbound message, to send some message to the third party systems, to the third party endpoint about the data of this training enrollment object. There are 4 actions. The only action I want to create here is training. So let's say I want to create a task. I'll show the options to you, but I'm not creating a task. That's not my requirement in this scenario. So I'm creating a task to assign to. Whenever a training enrollment is created, I'm assigning to this person, saying subject is new consultant enrolled. So this is a task I'm giving. So I know that new consultant is created. That's okay. What I want to do is talk to him, okay, or else counsel him. Counsel him, and the unique name automatically takes from the subject, because every time I'm setting a task to this person to counsel the participant. Counsel the participant. Okay, yeah. And the status is in progress, and the priority is okay, low. That's not the important task I want to make counseling thing. Okay, and due date is, so on which date, by which date I have to finish the counseling. So the due date I can give like this. Training start date. Okay, training start date minus 1. Okay, before training start date, I will call him. So this is simple due date I am assigning. It automatically, for suppose if training is starting on 20th, the due date of this task is 19th only. This task is saying, Venkat, please please counsel this participant on the training. Okay, that's what I'm just putting a message. Okay, here, and that's it. And counsel the participant about training activities, training process, and yeah, about the training process. That's fine. So I need to put him again. That's fine, and I'm clicking on save. Now a task is created and assigned to this Venkat. Okay, whenever a training enrollment is created, it checks whether there is email in the consultant thing, and it checks whether training is active, and it assigns some task to this user. One more task I want to create is new email alert. The second task is this. The first thing is task, the second thing is email alert. Because if your requirement is only email alert, I can only create email alert. I don't need to create task. Okay. Now I'm going with email alert, saying that training enrollment email notification, email to participant. What email template I have to use? Select this and see training enrollment email notification. I'm using HTML template, not the general template. Clicking on the training enrollment notification underscore HTML. This template we have created yesterday. Remember, we created yesterday this email template, and we stored in training force. Okay, that's fine. And recipient type. So generally, how can a recipient receive? They should have email address, right? I think I don't have any email field on the training enrollment object. The email is on consultant object. Okay, let's check email field. There is no email field. In this case, what I can do is, let's go to the schema builder and create a formula field on training enrollment object. See, I'm breaking this step here because I don't have any email address to send, because this email needs to be sent to a participant. That email field is not available. Means I have forgotten to create the formula field before that. But anyway, I'm doing it now. I'm coming to the training enrollment. Now I need an email address on training enrollment. Okay, the email field is actually on here. Okay, now I'm creating a formula field on the training enrollment. Now we got the perfect requirement to create formula field. So consultant email, and the written type is obviously string, right? That is text. Email is a text format, right? Okay, and now I have the formula field. With the formula field, I can query the parent object or data. So now I'm going to training enrollment. So going to the consultant object. Dot treat blank values as this. I'm clicking on save. Let's check. Saved. See, I'm going to the object, view object, because the formula field which when I'm trying to create, it's not showing the advanced options. I don't know why it is that. Clicking on edit on the schema builder. So here, training enrollment. Oh, if you click on advanced formula, yeah, because the option which I'm seeing on that is only the simple formula. I can build advanced formula by clicking on insert field. See, and click on consultant, go to the email. Yeah, but as I know that I can put __ r dot email __ c, I simply give that. But if you are trying to create from schema builder, you are unable to see the advanced formula builder. For that, you have to come back to the actual general editor. Okay, so this is the advanced formula editor. With a click my insert, see, I have the consultant thing, because I know that how to access the parent object records. For those who are new to Salesforce, they don't know if there is no consultant option, because when I'm clicking on consultant, it's not showing the options of that field. It's simply showing consultant __ c. That's it. So this is the relationship field. So __ r represents relationship. When I'm building relationship to other object, so there is a relationship, right? From when I'm building relationship from training to consultant, this is the relationship name. That's the reason I'm using it to access the email field on the consultant. That's okay. I'm done with this. Okay. Treat the blank values as treat the blank values as blank only. If I'm giving treat blank values as zeros, so the email field will be having zeros if there is no email field on the consultant object. Then what happens? My system will try to send the email to 000. Okay, that will be a problem for me. I'm clicking on save. Now I want to create new formula field from here. Clicking on new, and I'm clicking on formula field. Clicking on next. This is the old way of creating fields. If you have not used it, that's fine. The field label I'm giving it as trainer email. Trainer email. And I'm simply checking the checkbox as text. Button value is this. I'm clicking on next. So I'm using advanced formula here. Clicking on insert field. I'm going to the training object, that is this. See, I have option to query the training object fields also. Instructor email is here. This is the person who is going to be instructing us. Clicking on insert. That's it. This is the trainer email, right? And description help desk. I don't need to put any information here. I want to consider as blank only. If it is blank, that's it. I'm not sending an email. I don't want to put it with zeros. So this is the field level security. And I'm creating things on schema builder. It's not asking the field level security. Simply going with the default options. The fifth step, this is the fourth step when I'm creating a field from the object level. So whether I need to add this field on the page layout or not. Yes. Okay. So as it is a formula field, these formula fields are not available on the edit page. When you are trying to create the records, it won't be available. When you click on save record, this will be available based on the data from where you are populating. As the consultant has email address, let's go back to the page layouts, that is here. I want to do one more change in the page layouts because the field which I created from the schema builder is not added here, the formula field, right? The second formula field is added, that is trainer email. What about consultant email? It's not added. That's still here. I'm trying to add it onto the page layout. Okay. I'm clicking on save. Now I'm done. Okay, going back to my training enrollment. Click on E00. Training, Asif, consultant, email, trainer email, created by Venkat on this time. That's yesterday. Okay, we created this. Now I got these two information coming from different objects, not from the current object. This is a formula field. That's the reason you can see the lock symbol. This don't have lock symbol. Oh, this is a consultant. This is also a lookup relationship. That's the reason you got lock symbol. You cannot modify directly. This is also a lock symbol. There is no items like text fields or phone field in this scenario. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's go back to our email sending option. Now I'm selecting owner. Oh. I'm canceling it. I'm coming back again because I'm not seeing the email field. I'm trying to add the email alert. Start again doing from scratch. Select this. Bring the HTML template. I'm mapping the template what we created, and see. Now I'm clicking on email field. Now there are on the training enrollment object. Okay. Why I'm not seeing this is, I got it. The problem here is the email field what we are creating, it won't be available before data creation. The workflow rules will be generally executed before submitting the data to the database. Okay, that's the reason I'm not getting this email thing here. So I can send email to other guy. Maybe this requirement won't work, but I can send email to the owner. Owner means account, not account owner. Give me a second. On the testing public roles. Yeah, I have only one option, but I don't want to do it now. I'm clicking on cancel. Yeah. So I will show you the existing option which I created for the consultant object, because on the consultant object the email field is directly on that object. For saving the record you have to provide that, but in this scenario I am bringing the email field from the parent object after saving the record, after linking the consultant object, after saving it, my formula fields will be calculated. So that's how there is a conflict between things. That's the reason I am not getting the email field there. So if I'm going to the workflow rules, I'll show you the existing action which I created for the consultant training email. On the consultant training email object, see, when the consultant email not equal to null, I'm sending email alert, that is email alert. I'm clicking on this email alert. This is the action. See, this is the name. This is the template what I'm using, consultant training enrollment email. This is the HTML template, pure HTML template. So from email address I'm using as current user email address. If I'm selecting the email field, it checks the email fields in the current object, that is consultant object, on which I'm trying to create the workflow rule or the action. See, it showed this. I simply selected this, and so you can add up to 5 email addresses, so that this is also be looped inside this. When I'm sending email to this guy is in loop. That is the reason when I'm sending email from Salesforce, see, from this email I'm getting email to Nikhil, and CC I got winkyworks@gmail.com, because that's what I mentioned here in my workflow action, right? Yeah, this is the email which I gave, and the from email address also I can control from the current user's email address. So if you want to send emails as support@vrmcross.com, yes, you can do it by setting the workflow default user ID like this. So I can configure this workflow's default user email address as support@vrmcross.com, where that will be the email address from all the times. Okay. I'm clicking on save. Don't want to do anything. I'm clicking on settings. See, default workflow user is this. I can also set a new user, that is support user, with support@vrm clouds. I can assign to the international support profile. So I will do that to you today. So by clicking on this, I can set a new user also, because I haven't created users for that. That's the reason I'm not getting it. Let's do that now. Click on users. Click on these users. Manage users. Click on users. Click on new user. Support. Support. Nickname is support, and I'm adding the Salesforce license, and the role I'm assigning is customer support international. Okay, and I'm using as profile as just support profile user. Yeah, making this as active. So I will enable the service cloud license for this particular user, so that I'm creating a service user now. That's it. I'm clicking on specific time. That's okay. I'm clicking on save. So whenever I'm creating this thing, I'll get an email to support@ermcourse.com, and I will be doing the. Okay, I can handle that. I have to reset my password now. I can, because I have, after resetting the password, this user will be active. He can access this. Now I can even set this to support also the workflow thing to support. Selecting this, clicking on go, it will search all the accounts. If I'm selecting this, the email which we'll be using as the default workflow user is this from the next time, but I don't want to do it. Yeah, let's go with field updates. How to do field updates? I'll show that to you. Going to create workflow rules. Okay. I'm clicking on training service automation on this, because I have created some, because I need some requirement for that. So what happened is, if I want to send some email to the contact, okay, so there is a field update which I have done. There is a marketing stage on the contact object. Okay, I'll show that requirement to you. Shishi, okay. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm clicking on clone. See, means think that I'm creating a new data on the contact object. I am invented as Kaja, and I selected marketing stage as not started. Okay, email as this, phone number I haven't mapped anything. So this is somehow okay. Now I need to send an email automatically to this guy, and I want to do even email also. I want to do even do field update also. That is marketing stage. I need to update marketing stage from not started to emailed, because when I'm sending email, this is one type of marketing I am doing, that is email marketing. That's the reason I want to change status from not started to emailed. Okay, this is my requirement, so I'm clicking on save. Okay, what happens here is go back to my email. Let's check whether I got an email or not. Yeah, this is to Shiva, this is to Kaja. Okay, yeah. So it came 0 minutes ago from Yaram Clouds to the person contact email address, and CC is venkyworks@gmail.com, and this is the email template which is going to that contact, asking to choose the right training partner. This is the email template, and it's attachment. So after coming, this is the email which I went with the workflow rule which I created this. Okay, the training services email to contact on contact object, and see there is a field update thing also. I can delete it and I can do it again, just to show you how to do that. Anyway, I deleted it. Let's come back and check your contact record. See what happened to this Kaja's record which I created now. That is 7:42 p.m. today. So it's the stage is modified from not started to email, right? That is because of my workflow field update. Anyway, I'm going to create newly how to do that thing, because if I'm showing the existing role, you won't understand properly. That's the reason I'm trying to show it again. I'm clicking on this. I'm clicking on edit on the actions bar. I'm clicking on new action. I'm clicking on field update. What's the field update? Contact marketing stage. Marketing stage change. So I need to know whether I emailed him or not. That's the reason I'm creating this. Okay. This is a unique email thing for that. So under here it's asking, it's showing contact object. I can't modify this because the workflow is only on contact object. I can't modify this thing. I can only modify the fields on the contact object only. Which field I have to modify? I have to choose here. Field to update, marketing stage. Yeah, for marketing stage, it's in the custom fields only, because this is the field I created. I'm clicking on next. Okay, no need of clicking on next. It automatically shows the below screen. Okay. It's a pick list value. So again, there's a simple option. Reevaluate this rule after changing this or not. No, I don't want to reevaluate this rule after the field change, because if I'm doing this, again my rule will fire. Okay, I don't want to do that. So I can do one thing. I can change the status back, or I can change status front, one status up, one status down. If there are 4 pick list values, for suppose if you see priority, low, medium, high, in that case, so they are in order, right? Generally people select if it is low priority. If I want to make it high priority, I can view like the value above the current one. I can view that, means from low to it will become medium, medium to high. If I want to change status by one thing, select this one below or one above, because Some pick list values are arranged in ordered format. For suppose the opportunity stages, case priorities, okay, again stage of case, okay, where is this current stage, whether it's new, open, in progress, sorry, open, in progress, or completed. There are 4 stages. If I want to change the status of the case, I can do one up or one down. So this really won't work in case of when the opportunity, sorry, when the pick list values are not in the ordered format. This really won't work. You have to select manually by specific value. But in my scenario, they are in ordered format, not sorted, emailed, cold call. I think this is not in ordered format. This is not the actual flow. So I can even cold call before emailing also. That's the reason I want to select this static value. I have sent an email with this email alert, same alert only, but I want to do one more field update saying, hey, we have sent email to this contact. This is only the identification. The marketing stage will tell me whether I have emailed him or not. Got it? So the other first 2 options will generally work when the opportunity stages are unique and you generally follow the same template in the same order every time. Because in my case, I can't follow the same order. Sometimes I call before emailing also. That's the reason I'm using email. Clicking on save. Yeah. Now the workflow rule will work in the same way. Now let's do it for some other contact which is not at sent. Let's open the same add-on as USA. Go to the contacts. Click on, yeah, clone. Yeah, I'm cloning the same record because I have created this data before creating the validation rule. That's the reason the marketing stage is still in blank. Now I have created a validation rule and I'm trying to create the records again. I'm clicking on save. Now see the marketing stage is none. After saving the record, see my marketing stage email with field update is changed to emailed, and even I still got some email also. I'll check to my email. So now I got one more email. Clicking on show. Yeah, this email is to Jaya. This is the email. Yeah, you got it right. So for suppose if I want to share my training data to third party systems or training record, I want to share the trainings to other third party systems. I can do if I buy some service URL from other portals, I can do one thing. I can write a uh, I can write validation. I can write a workflow rule on training object and send outbound message also. That's the requirement. But for that, you need to have the proper endpoint to send the training information to third party system first. Later on, you can simply create a workflow rule for that. I will try showing the things on the consultant object only. So this is the, okay, no, this is not the thing. Clicking on workflow rules. I'm going back to the consultant, that is this workflow rule. Consultant training enrollment. Okay, I'm creating one more outbound message. I'm clicking on edit here on the actions because the workflow rule is having the simple triggering thing, trigger entry criteria. The workflow actions is really important. What to do when the workflow rule is triggered. That is the thing we have to add it. Now I'm going to do one more action, that is outbound message. we have done with task, email alert, and field update. Now we are trying with outbound message. I'm clicking on that. Okay. Now I'm just giving the outbound message name as Udemy. Sorry, I want to share the consultant information to some third party job portal. Okay, because this is I don't have any requirement, but I'm just creating it. I even don't have endpoint also. I'm creating simple endpoint HTTP. Yes, some endpoint I'm giving it as. So you can't simply give the endpoint like this generally, because if you are sending the information to Indeed.com, no one cares. So you're posting this message to them in XML format. The data is fine. It's going to that site. That's fine. No one is cared about that. But when you had partnered with some other company, they will. So if you have agreed upon some terms saying, I will give some data to you, you have to pay some amount to me. So everything is transactions. If you are sharing 500 data per month, you can charge him $5 per consultant or $500 per consultant. It depends on the business. Okay. So they are going to create some service URL for you, endpoint URL, which you have to trigger and send the required information in this. So okay, for suppose if this is the sample dummy, this is dummy URL, user to send as, so this person is sending the data. That's the reason I'm selecting this. So what fields I have to send about the consultant ID. I want to select each and everything. And even a resume also I want to send to that guy, years of experience and visa status also. Now this information is sent to this, and I don't want to send even ID also. Now ID field cannot be removed because Salesforce ID it's unique. It's need to be sent. So I'm sending this information to this endpoint URL, and I'm clicking on save. Once I click on save, so again it's asking me to send a session ID or not. Session ID will be generally created whenever you log into the Salesforce. So if Venkat is logging now, it's create a separate session for Venkat with this user, for this user. And if session is expired, you cannot access the data of the system. Again, you have to log in. That is the session ID. You use the sessions in security applications, in secure applications where you have username and password and you enter into the application. Okay, that type of systems you have session IDs. Okay, and yeah, I want to even send that also, and I'm clicking on save. When I click on save, I will get a web service description language file. If I click on this description, see, this is the outbound message which I'm sending to this endpoint. If you click on the endpoint WSDL, what is WSDL? Web service description language. I can see I have to share this information, okay, to the partner, where this is useful for them to check what data is coming to their endpoint and how to parse it. They will take care about that each and everything. Okay, and what data is coming and what format is that? What is consultant underscore ID underscore underscore C? It's a field? Is it a text? Is it a number, or is it an email field? And you don't know anything, right? That's the reason you are simply sending. This is the string field. See, that's a string, and you are, so this value is always so the minimum occurs means it's sometimes it won't occur also. Sometimes it won't be having any ID also, but it's not required. The nullable field means it can be blank or not. Yes, it can. Sometimes it can be blank also. So that's the reason I'm giving true. It can be nullable. It can be zero also. Sometimes it can be blank. So this is the web service description language files we generally use in integrations. and there are a lot of data. So organization ID, action, session ID, enterprise URL, partner, and everything is automatically sent in this response. So they can take this response and they can save the data into their system by parsing the data coming from my request. This is the request going out of your system. They can parse it and they can get the data. Okay. So anyway, this is completely the meeting. This whenever I'm in the record, it hits this URL from my system. And again, before adding the outbound message, you have to add this endpoint URL in your remote settings also. What are remote settings? When you're trying to integrate your application to third-party systems, all the endpoints you have to use in remote, create in remote settings. See, remote site settings. The security controls, it has it. See, browse the list of web services that your organization can invoke from Salesforce. These are means web addresses you can send data to other systems, or you can take data from other systems. I can create new remote site and I can create that, but anyway, I'm deleting this thing. Because there's no meaning of sending the data to the indeed.com, right? Because anyway, it won't go. It's a main URL. They don't accept it. It's a simply dummy URL. Oh, I'm clicking on delete. I'm just simply showing how the outbound message will work. So if they are giving some endpoint URL, yeah, then you can directly send this information. If they want account information, simply go to the account object. Means take your business confirmation. If your business says that you need some data sharing to other system, this is the endpoint. You can go with that. Means you can go to the account object workflow rules, create an account object workflow rule. If consultant and you can share you can create some action on account object, and you can send that all the account information what they need on a SOAP service. So this is using SOAP service, the workflow outbound message, and approval process. Yeah. So these are 4 actions with workflow rules. I think you guys are clear on this. If you have any questions, yes, you can ask me now. If you're clear, then I can move ahead with the approval process and how we use that. I want to show that approval process in a different edition, not in this edition. Do you guys have any questions on workflow rules? So let's talk about what we did in workflow rule creation. So we have some requirement to send the emails. We have some requirement. Sorry, I haven't shown you how the task is created and how it will be mapped to the user. Or suppose I'm creating a new enrollment. Clicking on it. I'm assigning Salesforce.com. Yeah. And the consultant is I'm assigning to Asif. Asif already done that. So enrollment, I'm doing it with Karthik. I'm clicking on save. What happens now? See, I can see the enrollment. See, I got the email address of the consultant and trainer, all this stuff. So I even send an email to Karthik. That's a new template which I haven't shown to you how that's working. I'm clicking on anything. Oh, sorry, I haven't sent email on. I'm not using the email template on this object, training enrollment, because I didn't find the email field, right? So anyway, I need to create a task, right? Automatically, I need to create a task. How to check the tasks? Tasks are available on your home page. If you click on home page, so I'm clicking on home page now. I clicked on it. So what are tasks? All the tasks I need to do, it will show on my home page. So this is my calendar. This is the schedule of the training, and this is the my tasks. Okay, I think my workflow rule have not executed because the training is inactive. So let's do one thing. Let's make this active. Yeah, this is active. Cool. It should show some task. Yeah, I can see the task. See, here is the task which are overdue, which are overdue. Okay, let's say I want to see all open tasks. Okay, by mistake I haven't seen all the open tasks. Okay, by clicking on this, yeah. Okay, what's happened? Whether I did activate it or not. Let's check it. What's happening with my workflow which I created today? Clicking on setup, going to workflow rules, and approval process. Clicking on workflow rules. I'm checking training enrollment. The problem is here I have not activated this. I'm activating it because that's the big mistake which I've done. So after creating the role, we have to activate this. So only it will execute it. Now I'm creating one more enrollment. Clicking on new. Now I'm going to map the same training. So this is the training for what Nikhil is also in, right? I went with Asif and Karthik, and I want to go with Ravi Kishore now. I'm clicking on save. Now let's see. I got the task assigned to me. Yeah, counsel the participants 16 days overdue because this training has started before 15 days. Means 15 days minus 1 is 16 days. That's what it's showing. Counsel the, and if I clicking on the participant, counsel the participant's task. It's taking to the thing which I have to work on. See, the training is started on 15th December. The due date I have to do this is 12th December. 14th December, and this is related to this record. If I am clicking on this particular thing, I can see the consultant information. This I have to talk to this guy. I will click on this button, and I can directly call him on his phone number, which is I think our email address. I can talk to him. I need to create the phone field also here. What technologies they are interested in, all this stuff. I can pick some information when they are talking about their introduction in the training class. I can do this stuff. Okay. Anyway, I think our role is working fine. We got the tasks also all overdue. Okay, cancel the possibilities here, and it even shows the task related to which object record also. If I click on this, it will go to that. So this task is related to the EZ2 Tech account. This task is related to the Sage IT INC account. Okay. So this is the opportunity, it seems. This is the customer, this is the opportunity. If I'm clicking on this, I'm working on Sage IT INC. It's a company opportunity. Still, it's in prospecting. There's no progress on this. This is the task which I'm currently seeing it. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Any questions on this? So we created a workflow rule and we created the 4 type of actions in today's class. One is task creation, email alert, field update, and outbound message. So we can do these things automatically. Okay, system will automatically send emails. So I have done one thing. If I can show that to you. I forgot to tell the time-based workflow rules. For suppose if I want to send email after 30 days, okay, that I can do it. I'm clicking on settings again, setup. I'm going to workflow rules again. In the current scenario, in today's class, we generally discussed only about creating a workflow rule and executing some task immediately. For suppose if I don't want to do the actions very immediately, if I want to do after 7 days or after 21 days, yeah, I can show that requirement to you. So for creating the time-based workflow rules, first of all, you have to deactivate the rule and select the rule. I'm going to the rule. Now, there is no, see, these are immediate actions which I created today. Cancel the participant's task creation. Okay, to create time-dependent workflow actions, click on edit. So this is immediate action which we worked on today, but I can even do time-based trigger also. After means if the rule is if the consultant is created today, if I need to apply for H1 transfer after 1 month, I can create add time trigger after 30 days after a rule trigger date or enrollment created date or anything I can use, because whenever enrollment is creating, I only am running the rule, because I can choose any of this date field, because it shows only the date fields here in this scenario. Rule trigger date means the rule which the parent rule means the main rule which affected on training enrollment object. This rule is triggered on 20th December. Means now I want to send out email on 20th January, okay, or 19th January after 30 days. I'm going to use this. I can even use hours also. After 10 hours, I can send one more email. Before, this really won't work, because a rule trigger date before means it really won't work, right? It won't show any roll up. Okay, I'm clicking on save. After 30 days, save it. Now you are adding time dependent workflow trigger. See, after time dependent workflow after 30 days, what all actions I can do, I can even put down here. I can even send out a task after 30 days. I can even send one more email on 30 days. I can even do one more field update. Again, first of all, in the first one, for suppose if case is registered today, I am going to change from low priority to medium after 3 days. After 2 more days, means after 2 more days, I am going to change the priority from medium to high. That can be done with field updates. So now in that scenario, I am going to use immediate after 3 days, I will create one time different workflow rule, and I can change the field up. I can add field update here, saying change the priority of the case from low to medium. Again, after adding creating that action, I will create one more add trigger. Again, after the rule start date after 5 days, I will do one more update to high priority. Got it? So I can create this time dependent workflow actions. First of all, I have to create the time. Later on, I can add the actions to it, a number of actions to it. Same way, the actions which I added for the workflow rule immediate actions. Got it? So the only thing you have to remember is you cannot add time dependent workflow actions when the rule is active. Clicking on activate. So I have created a time dependent workflow action on contact workflow rule. I'm clicking on I will show that to you that really works on the contact activated thing. Okay, no, this is not the thing. Okay. I have these basic things working. Again, after 30 days, I'm going to send it one more email, training services email repeated. The same email I'm sending it again after 30 days to these contacts. Okay, that's one more time different workflow which I have created in this organization. Okay, yeah. Anyway, I have 2 minutes left. So let's start about the topic approval process. I'm going to simply introduce the topic, and later on I'm going to tell it in tomorrow's class. Okay. Approval process is generally useful to send approvals to your manager. If there is a requirement like that, then you can use approval process for that. Okay. So I'm just checking it on which object I have to do approval process in this organization. Customer approvals, exactly. Yeah. So when you activate the approval process, there is a one more button called submit for approval on the layout. See, if I'm clicking on any of the customer record, there is a submit for approval button. Why is this useful? The requirement we use approval process is, first suppose you works for a big company that is Accenture. So when you are spending some money on your travel, when you are relocating from one location to other location, so your company might have some policies where you can only spend till some extent. Okay. Then in this case, you are trying to submit the expenses on your portal. First of all, if your company have policies saying that if the expense is from $0 to $5,000, no need to submit for approval. Okay. If this expense is more than that, simply submit the bills directly. They generally reimburse the amount directly to your in the next month's salary. If you want, if the expense is from 5,000 to 10,000, you need your manager approval. Okay. If your expense is more than 10,000 to 20,000, you need the DU lead approval. DU lead is the delivery unit leader, DU lead. So he's the head of multiple projects of your complete solution, means technology group, okay, or project group, industry group. If the expense is between 20,000 to 50,000, you need to take approval of the CFO of the company. If that is the rule, then you can build this type of approval process. So on the expense object, I can put a lot of fields like expense type, business, personal. Personal means again they won't be reimbursed at all. Okay, if it is business approval, and again if you click on submit, so, generally the submit for approval button is only enabled only if the amount is greater than $5,000, and again if the expense type is only for business purpose. For the company, if you spend only, it will be appeared. That type of scenario I can build it with submit for with approval process. If the expense is, again, if it is less than 5,000, you are not going to see this button. Means you can see the button, then there's no need of approval process also. If the amount is more than that, then you have to click on submit for approval button. The request will go to, if I'm clicking on this, the request will go to your manager, because there is some error here. If there is any error like this, it shows unable to process your request because of this issue. The value is empty. The manager field is empty for this user. Because what happens is, for doing the type of requirements, you need to have an organization where you have multiple users. But the developer edition, what you guys will be having, what you guys are having is only the basic free org with 2 licenses. Okay. Yes, you can do the approval process with you can create workflow approval process, and you can submit as one user and you can approve as another user. That's fine. Okay, but the approval process have a capability of creating a number of steps. Okay, up to 10 steps. You can get approval process, 10 conditions. So in the Accenture scenario, which I said, there are only 3 steps. First step, 5,000 to 10,000. Second step, 20,000 to 10,000 to 20,000. Third step, 20 to 50. Okay, because see, means it depends. You can create a very big approval process based on your requirement, because in most cases you have very short approval process taken from approval from your manager. And again, there are multiple ways you can take approvals. From which manager you can take approval? There is a role hierarchy concept. So if you are working in a company of 100 people, so means all the 99 people won't report to one guy, right? So they report to managers. Customer support manager will be means all the customer support reps will be reporting to customer support manager, and this guy will be reporting to the customer support head of the company, and that guy will be reporting to the CEO. Same way, sales reps will report to sales managers will report to sales head will report to the CEO. Again, that way it works, right? So same, that's called role hierarchy. I'm going to teach it. I'm discussing about users and roles and profiles, the security things. So you can even take approval, means when you are setting up the approval process, you can even use this role hierarchy structure to take approvals. So if I'm the sales rep, I can take approval from my sales manager, if that is the first step. Second step, it may go to the sales lead, sales head. Third step, it may go to the CEO. If it is a small company, if it is a big company, there will be a number of steps. Coming down to one more thing on the user object, there is one more 2 fields called. In user object, there are 2 fields. One is manager field. Sometimes you report to one guy, you work for another guy. That's called supervisor. He will be supervising you on very general things, not on your current roles and responsibilities. That manager field you can even map in user field also. There is one more thing that is called delegated administration. Delegated administrator. If I'm clicking on user object, I can see all these fields. So things which are required to approval process, I'm teaching it now. Tomorrow we can directly work on the first half. I can work on approval process. I'm clicking on edit to show you that fields. Yeah, these are the approver settings. Okay, who will be your approver? I can even put manager or delegated approver. In the approval process, setup only, if you're giving, you have to take approval from your manager. This guy will be getting the request. If the delegated approver need to approve, this guy will be getting the request. If your role hierarchy manager need to will get the approval request, then it will go on this role hierarchy. This is completely different. I'm clicking on expand up. It works like this. There are different roles, and you can add people to different roles. So in a user record, you can even you have to assign a user to a role. So in a company, he might be taking one role, at least like a support rep or a sales guy or a developer or administrator, any role. Okay. So based on the structure, I can assign the people to that roles. So there are very few roles in this current organizational structure, which I created here. Salesforce gives a very basic organizational structure for product-based company, for different companies. It shows images. Based on that, you can build it accordingly. But if your company is already a structured company, if they are giving some template, what is the role hierarchy of that company, then you can build it according to that sheet what they have given to you. Okay. So if this guy is submitting the request, customer support India, this request might go to the first level step will go to customer support international. The second step will go to SVP customer support. The third step will go to CEO, because these are all under one role. These are all under one role, means reporting to one manager. So this guy is reporting to customer support. Got it? First level, he is submitting the request. This guy will get the request. Again, if it is going to the second level, if his expense is more, this go to this guy. And if this expense is also more, this will go to the next top to 0. This is how it works. I'll show this option because this comes when we are creating the approval process. In the last step, who will be the approver? I toss that. Okay. That's it, guys. Let's discuss about approval process first half of tomorrow's class, and later on I will be talking about the users, roles and profiles in the remaining class. I would like to finish all these things. These are really important in terms of security setting up. Every time when I'm creating a field or tab or application, it's asking me to check the profiles to which profile users I'm going to give access to the tab or field or thing. Everything is going to be all the security options will be revolving around again profiles. Okay, this is the main option. Roles also have very special features to share records, all this stuff. Okay, I'll show that option to you. The security things in the next 2 days with the approval process also. Okay. Yeah, that's it, guys. If you guys have any questions, you can ask now.
Hey Venkat, I really need this class recording. So would it possible?
Yeah, I can send that recording to you. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to upload this. Okay, I'm going to upload this and I will share that video to you.
And also class 7.
Yeah, class 7 is yesterday's one or
not yesterday's one. Yesterday's 9th.
Okay, yeah. Okay, I'll check it. Class 7 is like on, yeah.
Yeah, I said you're right. It was another video regarding Apex.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll check that. I will check it today. I will check it now. I think that might be on validation rules, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's on validation rules. I will try to check it now after the class, and I will upload it by end of today.
Hey Venkat,
Yeah.
uh, the link which you sent it to me, the YouTube link, it does not have any video there now. So did you change the link?
No, the same link is working now, so you can even check all the videos in there. So try
Uh,
out, check out my email and just click on that link. It opens uh, all
it
this.
basically shows me about the this playlist is private, so it does not have anything over there now.
Yeah, I will try to means just try one more time because the other people are using the same link. Uh, I don't know why it's giving problem to you.
Yeah,
Can
even
you
I
try one?
tried it in the yesterday too, and even now also it's not at all working for me. Can you please send me
Yeah, I will
again
try
your
to.
link?
Yeah, second and I will try to one more send one more link to means the same link I can send it, but I'll check what link have you got because I am including you also in the same email to which I'm sending links to other people also. Anyway, I will
Okay,
send it again. Okay, I will
yeah,
check it what problem with the URL. Just send me the message if you are getting any error message. Just send me that on email.
okay. I can do one thing like the URL, whatever I have it, I'm going to forward to you, direct the email. So,
Sure. Right. Yeah. Thanks. Like how people will work. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to close the call now.